Hey folks, your OS Reviews. You're watching our video first look and a quick review of the Air 7e True Wireless earbuds. These are obviously similar in design to the Apple AirPods. In fact, the slogan of these is that true wireless stereo earphones that go with the iPhone 7. So there's obviously, a bit of a resemblance with the actual Apple EarPods, but these are a fraction of the price, retailing at under $40. It comes with a charging case that features an integrated battery, so when you pop them in, it will charge it up on the go like a power bank, and it's a nice storage mechanism anyways. It uses wireless Bluetooth 4.2 to connect to any iPhone, Android, tablet, or computer, and it has a connection range of 10 meters or 33 feet. And one of the downsides, like most true wireless earbuds in this price, is battery life, because on a single charge, it will only play music for 3 hours. That's definitely low. I would say that I would expect at least 6 hours, but since you do have this battery pack, you can kind of charge it up, about 3 times or so if you just bring the pack with you, which is at least a nice feature. So the entire battery here will charge up in under 2 hours, so it's pretty quick to charge, and again, a rather convenient and fairly elegant design. Packaging here, very simple. We've already taken it out, but just to show you guys again, you have access to the charging case with the headphones inside, and then there is a micro USB cable, which is very standard for charging the case and the battery. And there's also spare silicone tips to get a more comfortable fit if you don't like the one that's kind of built right on in. So immediately what I noticed was that the size of this charging case is actually quite bulky compared to the actual Apple AirPod and some other generic AirPod-esque headphones I've seen. It's actually quite large, and that takes up a bit more space, but also gives you a larger battery pack on the inside for charging up the earphones. There are a few LED indicators which will glow when the charging case, the battery is being charged up, and it will continuously flash until it reaches 100%, as you can see there. In addition, it will also flash when it's charging the earbuds on the inside. So this is a pretty nice feature. Now, this is not a waterproof or a rugged pair of earphones, so make sure you don't submerge it in water or get it wet, and you should be fine. The clasp on the top is actually pretty well built, and it feels like it stays in place well when it's closing and opening, which is actually better than the Syllable D900 series that we reviewed previously. Those were a little bit flimsy. So you can see this is what it looks like when you have the two kind of AirPods removed from the casing. Definitely an interesting design. Setting this off to the side and taking a look at just the earphones next. Again, even though there is some resemblance to the AirPods in terms of the minimalistic design, it does have its differences. For one, there is a bit more of an ergonomic twist to the ends of the ear tips that fits slightly snugger into larger ears from my testing. They're also a bit more noise isolating. Now, these are incredibly lightweight. So despite the fact that the case I found a little bit bulky, the earphones themselves are actually smaller and more lighter than past true wireless earphones I've seen that offer a very similar look. So that's actually a nice feature. So when you're wearing them, you won't notice that you're actually wearing headphones after a few minutes of music listening. There are individual controls on the top of the headphones, which are pretty tactile and responsive, and you can long hold for a few seconds to activate the pairing mode. Afterwards, you'll see a light start to flash, and then you can connect one of the earphones with your phone, turn on the other one, and this one will then communicate with the one that's been already paired, and they will sync the music data automatically, so you don't have to pair it twice. The process here is pretty simple and straightforward, and I encountered no issues when I tested it out with both an iOS and an Android smartphone. Although these are quite snug fitting, you'll notice that there aren't any extra rubber accents on the sides, just like the Apple AirPods. And that means for sports enthusiasts and maybe for constantly running, jogging, or moving around, they're not going to stay in place 100% of the time, especially since there isn't a larger wing that's more prominent and catches on the outsides of your ears. So I wouldn't consider these to be 100% safe for extreme sports, but for going to the gym, they do seem to do the job, since the outer ring here does fit into my ears at least pretty comfortably and snugly. All in all, they were pretty comfortable when I tested them out and wore them for roughly 3 hours on a continuous go. I didn't encounter any stress, or any discomfort of any kind. There are also integrated microphones on the top here that can be used to answer phone calls with. It actually does a pretty good job since it cancels out your background sounds, and as a result, even in noisier environments, you can still hear and talk and communicate normally. So as Bluetooth headsets, it also performed quite well. Communication range indeed was roughly at 10 meters, so no problems there. When it comes to the sound quality, I was reasonably impressed with the Air 7E. Now, obviously, true wireless earphones, this type of technology isn't super ripe yet. It's still under development. And one thing about wireless headphones in general is that they're not audiophile grade, and that's why you'll never see music makers or studio workers wearing wireless headphones. They would always wear traditional wired headsets. That gives you more fidelity and more detail and resolution. With that being said, this technology is slowly getting better, and the Air 7E already sound pretty good for the casual music listening. When you're listening to pop, electronic music, or EDM, it sounds quite good with a good amount of volume and clarity. There's not that much distortion or latency either. It seems to be quite speedy and responsive, and if you're watching a video, it matches up with the video with the sound without too many problems. Sometimes you'll find a 1-second delay occasionally when you're pausing the video and then playing it back again, but that's a pretty common trait in most true wireless earbuds I've tested, so that's regardless of price at the moment. Otherwise, there isn't too much bass on these, so if you're especially listening to drum beats, then you won't be terribly blown away, but again, most in-ear style headphones are meant to be super bass heavy anyways, so as long as you're listening, as long as you have your expectations modest, then I think you'll be fairly pleased with the sound on these. I would say that they sound clean, overall do a good job with music and for podcasts, and the best thing about them is how lightweight and ergonomic they feel. It's easy to play pause your music, to answer reject phone calls, and the fit, at least for me, was quite comfortable when I tested them out. So overall, I think this is a good value for a pair of true wireless earbuds at under $40, and for this price point, it certainly is competitive and remains a good option if you're looking for something to try out with a smartphone that lacks a traditional headphone port. So you can check out more details in our official written review, but for now, this has been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews.